Now I would like to talk about starting our work in After Effects. To do this, we need to import some files in here. I'll go ahead and delete both of these files. Just select them, and I'll click on the little trash can here at the bottom of the project panel. And I'll say delete. You can either click delete with your mouse or press the enter key on your number pad to accept the delete option, which is what I did. To work in After Effects, we import files into the After Effects project panel. But before I get into that, I want to make sure that we know that in no moment we are working with the original files. We are working with references to the original files that are located in the hard drive. If we delete or move the existing files from wherever we have them in the hard drive, After Effects won't be able to find them, and we may need to indicate to After Effects where we move these files to. I will assume that you have the included files already in your system. To import these, go to File, Import, or use the shortcut Command-I if you're on a Mac, or Control-I if you are on Windows. But it's even better if you double-click an empty part of your project panel. And voila, the Import File dialog box opens up. In here, let's navigate to the Chapter 1 Lesson Files, and let's choose a video file. I have my project files on the desktop. Expand Chapter 1, and I'll expand the folder called Movies. And I'll choose one of these, say Boy and Pig. You can choose one file or several ones at the same time. You can click on one, press and hold Command if you're on the Mac or Control if you're on Windows, and select these contiguous ones. For example, I can select this one, press and hold Command or Control, select this one and this one, which are discontiguous, or I could select one of them, press and hold Shift, and then select on the last one that I want to select, and there you go, all of the contiguous ones get selected. You can also click and drag, and as you drag, whatever files are selected with this marquee drag will be included when you choose Open. I'll select all of these, I'll click on Open, and now these files appear in my project panel. We can import audio the same way. For that, I'm going to open the Import File dialog box. I'll do it differently this time. File, Import, File. I'll navigate to where my audio is, which is on the Chapter 1. And I'll choose this piece called ParagonRag.mp3. And now I'll choose Open. As you can see, this includes now the audio file in the project panel. We can also import stills the same way. Where this varies a little bit is when you import multi-layered Photoshop or Illustrator files. After Effects knows what type of file you're importing, and it also knows if these are multi-layered Photoshop or Illustrator files. If you select one of these, then you're presented with different choices. Let's go ahead and do that. File, Import, File, and I'll go ahead and select this file right here, starandplanet.psd. This is a Photoshop file that contains more than one layer. I'll choose Open, and a new panel opens up. You can choose to merge all of the layers, in which case you're going to end up with a flattened still. You can choose to import as footage and just choose one of the layers. This one has 3 different ones. You can also import as a composition so that all of the layers get imported. After Effects will place all of them in a composition, and you will be able to work with them on an individual basis. The last choice is Composition Retain Layer Sizes. What this means is that each individual layer will be the size of the whole document or just the size of what the layer itself is. We will be seeing more of this in a later lesson. Let's go ahead and choose Composition and click OK. As you can see, two new items are located now in the project panel. One is a composition and the other one is a folder that if we expand, you will see that it contains all three of the layers that comprise the Photoshop file. If you double-click the composition, which is this file right here, you will see that each individual Photoshop layer is now an After Effects layer. Another choice that you have is importing a series of stills. After Effects will make these stills into a single file which you can play in a composition. Let's go ahead and do that. File, Import, File. Go to the folder named Sequence of Stills and choose just one of them. Make sure that the JPEG sequence is checked and choose Open. After Effects is going to combine all of these stills into just one file which will play like a movie. Let's place this movie into an After Effects composition. I will drag it to the new composition icon. Don't forget that we will be discussing creating new compositions in just a little bit. All we have to do now is play this. I will press the spacebar for that. I will pause by pressing the spacebar again. This video is playing rather fast. We can always interpret the footage by going under File, Interpret Footage, Main, and we can change the frame rate at which this video is playing. Right now, we're playing at a rate of 30 frames per second. I'll change it to 5. Press Enter or Return. And now, I'll create a new composition with it. You need to have a new composition to apply the interpretation. It won't apply to your old composition if you interpret the clip in the project panel. And play it again. As you can see, this sequence of stills is playing at a much slower rate. To pause the video, just press the spacebar again.